Bro, you've probably heard that Bitcoin is like digital gold. Its total supply is limited to 21 million. But do you know? Because it's so rare, Bitcoin actually becomes hard to use for everyday transactions. Well, Pi Network is trying to create a balanced economic model, keep it scarce to maintain value, but make it sufficiently available so everyone can use it. How do they do that? Let's break it down. Hello, I am Anton. This is the fourth module in the Pi Network Whitepaper Surgery series. Previously, we discussed how Pi can be mined using a phone. Now we move on to the most important topic, Pi's economy. Because without a fair economic model, crypto is just a toy for the rich. Disclaimer first, bro. This video purely discusses the contents of the Pi Network whitepaper as they are. I am not adding personal opinions or encouraging buying crypto. The purpose is solely for education, for pioneers to better understand the coin they hold, for those against Pi Network to see what is actually written in the white paper. So once again, this is purely educational content. Acronym. If we talk about Pi economy, we can't separate it from learning about Bitcoin first. Because anyway, Bitcoin is a pioneer, the first role model that introduced the concept of digital money with a limited supply. Bitcoin's advantages are very clear. Its supply is fixed, only 21 million coins. This is what gives Bitcoin its scarcity property. Just like gold, because its quantity is limited, its value tends to increase. That's why Bitcoin is often called digital gold. Its distribution is also unique. Initially, the mining reward per block was 50 BTC, but every 4 years, the reward is halved. This is called halving. As a result, Bitcoin becomes harder to find over time and it feels more scarce. But bro, behind all its advantages, there's a big problem. Its distribution is uneven. Early adopters who mined from the beginning got the biggest share. Meanwhile, new people? Starting late, their earnings are very slim. Furthermore, because the price keeps rising, many people prefer hoarding or stockpiling. They rarely use it for daily transactions because people think, it's a shame to use it now, its value might be higher later. A simple analogy is this. Imagine you have a shopping coupon, but its value increases every year. You start to hesitate to use it. Eventually, the coupon just sits in a drawer and is never used for shopping. That's why, even though Bitcoin has become a successful investment asset, it has failed to become a daily currency. After learning from Bitcoin, the Pi Core team realized how difficult creating a crypto economic system really is. There must be a sense of scarcity for the coin to have value, but on the other hand, it must remain easily accessible so everyone can use it. That's why they designed the Pi economy with 4 main requirements. First, it must be simple. It shouldn't be complicated like an economics textbook. Even laypeople should be able to understand how the distribution works. Second, it must have fair distribution. As many people as possible should have the opportunity to get Pi, not just early adopters. So, the system is designed to distribute coins more evenly across the community. Third, there must still be an element of scarcity. Because if the supply is too high and easily obtained, the coin loses its value. Pi wants to have a sense of rarity like gold, so people still see it as valuable. Fourth, there must be meritocratic mining. This means rewards are based on contribution. Those who are active, consistent, and genuinely help the network get a larger share. After learning from Bitcoin, the Pi Core team realized how difficult creating a crypto economic system really is. There must be a sense of scarcity for the coin to have value, but on the other hand, it must remain easily accessible so everyone can use it. That's why they designed the Pi economy with 4 main requirements. First, it must be simple. It shouldn't be complicated like an economics textbook. Even laypeople should be able to understand how the distribution works. Second, it must have fair distribution. As many people as possible should have the opportunity to get Pi, not just early adopters. So, the system is designed to distribute coins more evenly across the community. Third, there must still be an element of scarcity. Because if the supply is too high and easily obtained, the coin loses its value. Pi wants to have a sense of rarity like gold, so people still see it as valuable. Fourth, there must be meritocratic mining. This means rewards are based on contribution. Those who are active, consistent, and genuinely help the network get a larger share. Vite, part for the person invited. So both benefit. The goal is clear, to grow the network quickly but fairly. D stands for Developer Rewards. Developers also get a share, specifically 25% of the total M+R. But they're not given it all at once. This share is released gradually as the network grows. So, developers have an incentive to keep managing this project long term. To put it simply, imagine this, bro. Every seat in Pi Stadium has a coupon attached. The earlier you sit, the more coupons you have. If you invite a friend to sit with you, both of you get a bonus together. And the event organizers, aka the developers, also get a portion so the event can keep running. In the crypto world, those who join early usually get the biggest profits. This has been proven with Bitcoin. People who mined at the beginning could harvest a lot, while those who came later only got crumbs. Well, Pi also still provides benefits for early joiners, but the difference is not as extreme. Here's what I mean. Those who join first still receive larger incentives because in the early days, the network was still quiet and needed pioneers to run the system. But on the other hand, Pi still allocates a share for people who join later so they don't get discouraged or feel left behind. Here's a simple analogy. Imagine you have the first phone in the world. Cool, but what's the point? No one else to call. Only when more people have phones does the value of the network increase. So it's totally normal for those who dare to join early to get extra bonuses. They helped pioneer in the initial phase. But the difference with Bitcoin is that Pi creates a more inclusive system. So even if you join late, there's still a chance to get a share. In this way, Pi tries to balance rewarding pioneers and inviting as many people as possible to be part of the network. One of the main goals of the Pi economic model is to create a fairer system. In old crypto like Bitcoin, wealth often accumulates in a small number of large miners with big capital. As a result, distribution becomes uneven, the rich get richer, and latecomers can only watch in frustration. Now, Pi tries to be different. With the supply and reward model they created, Pi's distribution is broader. Rewards are not just given to one winner of a competition, but are spread among many contributors. So more people can own Pi, not just a minority with super machines. Additionally, Pi's referral system is designed for mutual benefit. It's not a pyramid scheme that only benefits the recruiters. In Pi, both the inviter and the invitee receive rewards, so no one feels disadvantaged. The simple analogy is like this, bro. In other systems, usually only the recruiter takes home the prize, and those invited are just victims. But in Pi, both parties smile because they both get a share. That's what makes this system feel more fair and inclusive. Looking ahead, the Pi economic model has interesting long-term effects. The supply of Pi will continue to grow as more people join the network. But remember, there is a maximum limit. So, Pi won't be printed recklessly like paper money nowadays. Reward distribution is also gradually decreasing. This means that latecomers can still earn, but their share is smaller. This pattern of decline creates a sense of scarcity. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to get Pi. On the other hand, access remains broad. Mining can be done by anyone via a smartphone, making it non-exclusive. The combination of scarcity and wide access gives Pi the potential to be a sustainable valued coin that is also widely used. The simple analogy is this, bro. Bitcoin is like limited edition sneakers, cool, expensive, but only a handful of people own them. Meanwhile, Pi wants to be like comfortable sports shoes. Still valuable, but accessible to many people from the field to the streets. That's why Pi believes that with this model, they can maintain a balance between economic value and mass adoption. When talking about Pi's economy, we also must not forget the role of developers, or the core team that keeps everything running. They also receive a portion of the total supply, called developer reward. But the difference is, developers don't get a lump sum of coins up front. Their share, about 25% of the total mining and referral rewards, is released gradually in line with network growth. So they have a long-term incentive to keep working, not just get money and leave. Why is this important? Because it makes the system healthier. Imagine if developers received nothing, who would take care of servers, software updates, or roadmap planning? But if they were given all the coins at once at the start, it could be dangerous. They might sell off massively, crashing the price. In this way, the developer rewards are balanced, enough to motivate them, but still tied to Pi's long-term success. Here's a simple analogy, bro. Imagine you're involved in a startup project. The founders aren't given 100% shares up front, but the shares are locked and released gradually each year. So, if the startup succeeds, everyone smiles together. If it fails, the founders also share the experience. Basically, developer reward gives Pi a long-term foundation. The core team still has skin in the game, and the community can be confident that this project won't be abandoned halfway through. So, bro, here we are discussing how Pi Network structures its economic model. Starting from learning from Bitcoin, creating a fairer system, to distribution methods and incentives for users and developers. The clear goal, to give Pi a rare feel that makes it valuable, but still accessible to everyone. But the next big question arises. Okay, Pi has an inclusive mining system, a fair economic model, but what is this coin for? Because it's pointless, bro, to have lots of coins, but end up just hoarding them. Now, this becomes the next big topic, utility. In Module 5, we will discuss how Pi is designed not just as a collectible item, but truly usable in the real world for transactions, applications, and even fueling the digital ecosystem. So stay tuned and follow the series. Because in the next video, we will reveal the answer to the most important question: what is Pi for in everyday life? If you want to understand more and enjoy the two-person chat style, don't forget to check out the podcast version of this series. The discussion there is more relaxed, like chatting together while dissecting a white paper. I'm preparing the video now, bro. Just wait. It'll be ready by tomorrow. If you get new insights from this module, click like and share so more people understand how Pi's economy works. Don't forget to subscribe, because in the next module we will discuss Pi utility and how this coin can be used in the real world.